you'll never see what I did for you. Why is it only our love you outgrew? I wish that I knew then you would go and break my heart, but I need to stay silent or my whole world will fall apart. My whole world will fall apart. I am frightened of the rain. When it dries up, I know I won't see you again. And I am afraid that I can't move on. Help me understand. Why can't this be something that we both want? And I've tried so hard, but you've made my whole world fall apart, fall apart. I wish that I knew then you would go and break my heart, but I need to stay silent or my whole world will fall apart. My whole world will fall apart.
Baby, I know all your secrets. Now you tell me stupid lies. Oh, you think you can escape now and got it all just figured out. You can fake it through the ceiling to the rooftop while I'm leaving. You're my greatest mistake. Greatest mistake. You can fake it through the ceiling to the rooftop while I'm leaving. You're my greatest mistake. Greatest mistake. You can Baby, I know all your secrets. Now you tell me stupid lies. Oh, you think you can escape now and got it all just figured out. You can fake it through the ceiling to the rooftop while I'm leaving. You're my greatest mistake. Greatest mistake. You can fake.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another RSC EU League Play series. Week 7 of RSC coming into the endings of League Play. I am Jasper, and joined with me today is Alligator.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I'm so excited for this great day of Rocket League that we have ahead. We are starting off things with a bit of elite play. We have Fearless Esports against Sistema Solaris. The two teams specifically playing in this tier are Fearless Bravo and Saturnia. And looking at the standings is a very interesting picture. Fearless Bravo standing at the very, very top of the table with a 7-4-2 record. Saturnia, on the other hand, 2-5-6, very bottom of the standings. Jasper, I don't want to start things off being negative, etc., etc., but you know how things are. We gotta take a look at those numbers, and you know, they do mean something. Number 1 against number 10. I'm not going to ask you how you expect this game to go, but, you know, what are we looking at here?
Well, we're going to be looking at the Battle of Titans versus a team that's going to be hoping to cause an upset. You know, just looking at team stats, they are very split. Goals for 128 on Fearless's side and 118 on Saturnia's side. And just having a look at player stats, like you can see that both teams have got new players, right? Well, not new players, but they've got players that haven't had a lot of games played. Buddha, the captain, 8 games played. And you've got Spods on 4 games played, so they're probably going to be wanting to get their sub games in now because week 7, there's not much time left to get them sub spots in. And I have a question for you, Alligator. Who do you think is going to win this series?
Well, I'm sorry for Saturnia, but really, there's only one reasonable answer for this. It's always going to be Fearless Bravo, isn't it? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a 4-0. A 3-1 would be more surprising than a full sweep, not gonna lie. This is a very unfair matchup, it has to be said. And it's always gonna happen. It's always at some point the top is going to play the bottom, and maybe those first few weeks of play are the ones where, okay, the standings aren't really clear, you have a slow start, etc. But now that we are starting to get a bit more into the season, it becomes harder and harder to get those dubs, to get those victories. So hopefully, Saturnia can show us something that they haven't shown us before. Maybe they can push Fearless Bravo against the ropes. Who knows?
Hopefully so. Just very quickly, I think Saturnia, as the AGM of Sistema Solaris, I don't like to say this, but I don't think they will take a game this series. They have a sub up from Rival. So that says a lot about how this series might go, and I think Bravo is gonna take it at a 4-0 sweep. But let me ask if the players are ready to begin, because we were a little bit late. We had some technical issues. Everyone is ready. Players are joining in the lobby right now, and we are getting underway on Mansfield Night.
That's what we want to see. Like you said, technical difficulties. I have to confess, some of those might have been on my side, but that doesn't matter anymore. Once the ball gets rolling on the field, once that clock starts to tick down, Fearless Bravo in the blue, Saturnia in the orange, at least in game. That's how we are seeing those teams for the moment. Fearless Bravo trying to get that offense going, a little bit of a whiff here and there, trying to find their footing first. For Saturnia, these first few moments of game number 1 are very important, because if they can find something special, if they can find 1 goal or 2 goals, or keep that pressure piling, that could very well spiral out of control for Fearless Bravo, give them a lot of momentum. That is exactly what they're trying to do. But the blue team is just too good, and they're going to get the go-ahead goal courtesy of Bryn.
Yeah, an unfortunate 50 there between Bryn and Anthony, and it just causes Bravo to get the opening goal 43 seconds into the game, and it took longer than what I thought it would take them, to be honest. I thought they'd be right on it. Underway, Spods, a very aggressive kickoff, but it's now Buddha taking it. A shot goes off for Anthony with the save. Follow-up from Tilted Waffle, the sub-up from Rival. An unfortunate 50 there. Anthony overextending to the backboard. Ethereal now getting a 50 with Anthony, and it's now Spods to clean up the debris, the mess, and it's Bryn now with a second shot, but it hits the post. Anthony now with a flick, but Ethereal not letting that pressure die, missing the ball, and Buddha's there, but Anthony will beat him into the mid-play, but that's a demo, and now Ethereal going for a solo play, doesn't get the reset, but tries to get the 50. Oh my God, such heavy action, and Bryn hits it off the backboard, and it's Buddha to get the second goal.
I mean, it was bound to happen sooner or later. We hadn't left this Saturnia half in, I don't want to say a minute, but probably somewhere close to 45 seconds. And when the pressure is piling on like that, the goal is going to come sooner or later. You know, the opposing team has boost control. You need a really long clear to get out of there, and if you're not finding it, then you're just gonna get pummeled shot after shot after shot. Fearless Bravo, they're showcasing here why they are top of the division. Saturnia, unfortunately, are struggling to even get some semblance of control, and those demos are just gonna keep on coming. Bryn scored the first one, now opening things up for Ethereal, and 3-0 in less than 2 minutes in favor of Fearless Bravo.
Yeah, this is looking to be a storm for Bravo right now. Not showing any signs of hindrance, playing their sub. And that's Bryn now. Bryn just, hits the post. Lovely clear from Anthony now. Anthony does not get the touch he wants, and that's now Ethereal to the mid. Spods out to, oh my word, Spods out, but it gets demoed. And then Spods now over jumps, and it's Bryn off the crossbar. Tilted Waffle trying to clear that ball away. And then it's Anthony and Buddha trying to come to a 50, but it doesn't come to play. Now Anthony not pushing, not overextending, but this could be bad as it's Ethereal. He goes for the double, but it hits the crossbar, and it does not go his way. Buddha in the corner. 2 minutes 20 left on the clock, and it's 3-0. No sign of a comeback, as I've not seen the ball leave Saturnia's side with a real attack for a long time. And Alligator, this game is certainly gonna start to look like a clean sweep. Oh my word, Ethereal.
4-0 on the scoreboard for game 1. We'll see if that is the result at the end of the series. Let me start a little set right there. You said you hadn't seen really anything from Saturnia. You're not the only one. Up until that last play, they had 0 shots in total in the game, to the 11, then 12, and still piling on. Could be more for Fearless Bravo, who are now sitting at 13 for Saturnia's only 1 shot. I mean, this is not one team being better than the other. This is pure dominance. There is no chance of a fight right here. This is completely unfair. The meme getting repopularized around these days a lot. Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby. That is the level of disparity that I'm seeing on the field right now. But maybe Saturnia can find something for them in the last 90 seconds. Maybe some momentum to go into game 2.
Maybe some momentum, but it certainly won't be now, because what a passing play we have just seen. Bryn to Buddha. Buddha on the pre-jump off the sidewall down to Ethereal, and Ethereal with a slot of the game right now, and I am watching a complete mockery. As you said, Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby, and that's really what we're seeing. Ethereal going for another, but doesn't come to light as Spods clears that ball away. It's now Anthony getting it in the corner of Bravo. This could be good for Saturnia. That's a shot, but it hits the crossbar. And now Anthony jumping, but Bryn is there. Bryn to Buddha. Buddha with a shot. Tilted Waffle there. 50 seconds left on the clock. And this is a shutdown for Bravo. They are just dominant. Absolutely no chance in the world right now. And it's Ethereal sending that ball to the backboard, and it's an overcommit from Spods. That could be bad, but Anthony takes some good control to the backboard. No, Buddha's there. Bryn now up. Spods on the sidewall to read, and that's Bryn getting a 50. Ethereal with a bit of a mistouch, but it's a lovely bump indeed. Tilted Waffle. Nice bump from Spods there. 20 seconds left. An Alligator this game. Just, do you think this is a resemblance of what's going to happen this series?
Certainly feels like it. There was just a whiff in front of the net. It could have been a goal for Saturnia. Instead, it might be one more for Fearless Bravo. I don't think it's going to happen right here. Maybe on the counterattack, something to go for the Sistema Solaris team. They're just going to drop it into their own half. We were looking at numbers earlier. I believe Tilted Waffle finished this first game with about 72 points, which would be a dismal sight if it weren't for the fact that we just saw the entirety of Saturnia get dismantled. Like, Anthony in this case was the only one, almost only one, getting the saves. He had 4 to his name. Spods had 2. Tilted Waffle was just not in the right place. I know he had a couple of clears that could have very well been marked as saves. It was just that the game didn't consider them to be dangerous enough. He literally has half of his team shots, but they only have 2 shots in total. So I can't really say that Tilted Waffle is being the problem right now, because it is just a whole team diff. All members of Fearless Bravo over 300 points. Anthony and Spa's barely getting over that mark, but still, it's a complete difference. I mean, you take a look at those shots, 15-2. This is a massacre.
Yeah, 100%. But Tilted Waffle, you know, not had the best game, but for a low rival player, you have to think, no warm-up, coming into a tier above, a good couple hundred MMR above him. He is performing as best as he can, trying his best, and, you know, it's just what they've got to work with here. And now, getting underway, game 2 on the beautiful Forbidden Temple daytime. Anthony, Buddha, kickoff, great kickoff from them, and it's now in the side of Bravo for the first time this game. Definitely a change in momentum as Ethereal tries to get something on, and that could be a goal when Bryn is there to clean up Buddha's mistake. Tilted Waffle, Anthony, both up. Spods getting a nice pinch into the corner, but Ethereal will be there to read. Ethereal going for an edgeable. Will we see a flip reset? We will. A flip reset to Bryn as well. On the back ball, will Buddha be there? Buddha will. And it's a shot. It's an overextension. This could be bad. It's a pass to middle. Spods is there and a flick. Bryn, though, getting the save, but Spods keeping that ball in, keeping that pressure alive. Tilted Waffle to the side wall. Spods trying to keep that ball in their half, trying to keep anything alive, and that's Ethereal getting a bit of a mistouch, and that's Spods also getting a mistouch in the corner of Fearless Bravo. Bryn, Tilted Waffle, this could be a goal, and it just doesn't come to play. Now, seeing it go in the corner, 3 minutes 50 on the clock. Alligator, this is certainly a shift in tone from what we saw last game, right?
Most definitely is. I mean, Spots in 40 seconds got more goals than he did got more shots, than he did in the entirety of game 1. And Saturnia as a team, as a whole, they already have 3 shots in about a minute. I mean, this is kind of like the same thing that we saw in game number 1. Saturnia starting with the pressure in the opening minute, but this time they're actually getting those shots on target. They are putting on real danger, if you will, but the ball is dangling dangerously in front of their net. No one there from Fearless Bravo to tap it in. We hear from some outside sources that the coach is coaching, he is cooking, so maybe Saturnia have something new to show us, because it definitely feels like the dynamic of the series maybe is starting to shift, but still that game 1 might weigh heavy on the minds of the Saturnia players.
100%. The mental game is definitely going to be what separates these two teams right now. If Saturnia can keep their mental, then maybe they're in with a chance. And Coach Hecky from OX has definitely shown himself to be helping them out, because looking at it now, they're a completely different team, and that's a bit of a misplay. And that's a shot from Anthony. Could this be it? Tilted Waffle, just a little bit of poor positioning, and that is such a difference from what we've seen last game. Ethereal, no boost. Demo though, Tilted Waffle so awkward, and that's a sharp Smodge with a lovely save. Bryn with an overcommit, Tilted Waffle panicking. Do not panic, you are okay. You are holding on by a thread right now, and that's all you need. One thread is enough. One shot and one opportunity is what they need and what they're taking, because look at the way they're playing. They are putting pressure on. Bravo did not expect this, but that's Ethereal. What's he going to do? Is that a double touch opportunity? It was, but getting cut out. Anthony to Waffle. Waffle missing tactical fake, you could say. Sat through Bravo off. 1 minute 50 on the timer. And I'm just watching two teams that are looking not like first and 10th, and like second and third almost, you know. Both of these teams are fighting like their hearts depend on it. And this game, save from Waffle. The rival that could, the rival player that is doing all he can is really surfacing well. Nice save. 1.5 minutes left, 90 seconds, and it's still 0-0. Alligator, it is still 0-0.
I was extremely surprised when you said 1 minute and 50 on the clock, because this feels like we have been going on for, I don't know, maybe half a minute or something. It definitely doesn't feel like we've been playing for so long. The thrill of the action is ever present here, and maybe Saturnia are gonna find something. They haven't had any good opportunities in the attack for quite a bit, but they have held on strong on the defense, which wasn't maybe their strongest suit in game number 1, and they've definitely had good chances here. This is probably their second most clear. They had a post-to-post shot earlier that I'm sure some of those fans were ruining that it didn't go in, but the passing plays are certainly coming through now in the last 30 seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if game 2 went to this team that is finding some renewed energies here.
Oh my word, this game, I'm on the edge of my seat. This game is so intense. Right now, we're seeing a flip from what we saw last game. Buddha holding all 4 shots. Wait! Tilted Waffle!
Yes!
Oh! 12 seconds left, and it is looking to be Saturnia's game. Anthony, what a drop down from the ceiling, and that is a lovely shot. Coach Hacky has provided this team with a breath of new light as we come in. The last 12 seconds here, they just need to hold. Tilted Waffle on the wall. Ethereal gets the touch, but Anthony will be there. Anthony getting another touch, and this is down. 2 seconds, 1 second. We are now in regulation time. Are we going to see something? Tilted Waffle gets a touch. That's Anthony now keeping it up. They just want this ball to be dropped, but it's not being dropped. Ethereal up in the air. Ethereal going for a solo play, and this spots to drop the ball. And Saturnia, they take game 2.
You know what? I don't care that our predictions were both wrong. This is a giga banger in the making, and I'm so glad that we are getting to witness it. This is Rocket League. This is what we were promised. This game, Saturnia completely outshooting Fearless Bravo. Fearless Bravo, Bryn and Ethereal with 0 shots each. Only Buddha had 4 to his name. On the other side, Tilted Waffle and Anthony, each of them alone had 4 shots off their own spots, with 2 for a total of 10. That is also a big difference. Not as big as we saw in game number 1, and of course, the accuracy just wasn't there. Only 1-0 scoreline, like we saw coming in at 12 seconds, a very, very late goal. But Tilted Waffle kind of redeeming himself from that slower game number 1, and it definitely is what Saturnia needed to turn this series around, because now they're tied at 1 apiece. Whoever wins this game 3 puts themselves at series point. Of course, during regular season here in RSC, we do things a bit differently than other tournaments. For those who don't know, we play 4-game series that can result in a tie. Possible scorelines are, of course, 4-0, 3-1, and 2-2. Also 1-3 and 0-4 if we're counting both sides. So, who will it be pulling ahead here in game number 3? Sovereign Heights instead of DFH Stadium. Certainly a new phase, a new welcome phase, it has to be said. And speaking of new phase, Fearless Bravo showcasing, I was going to say a new look, but instead Anthony wants to get a counter for Saturnia. They don't want to give any breathing room to the number 1 seed.
100% not, and that's really what's going to set this apart. That's what's going to set them apart. You know, no breathing room, no time, spots, easy as you like, save to keep them at 0-0, and that's a lovely touch. And that's Buddha with a missed touch now. Bryn has to overextend, and that's Tilted Waffle getting stuck in, getting himself busy. That's a double demo. Buddha's now in a 1v3 almost, but he clears it away nicely here, nicely done. And that is a misplay, but Tilted Waffle there to clean up and clutch up. And Alligator, 1 minute in, this game I think is going to go just how it did last game, and I love Anthony! Put it 1-0 earlier on. This is a new light, and Heki is the reason I would like to say that they're doing so well.
It is definitely something has changed. The coach buff is real, and that was so back and forth from almost scoring for Saturnia, then almost scoring for Fearless Bravo, and then an actual goal for the Sistema Solaris team, and now maybe a goal for the Fearless franchise. What is going on? This is a giga banger of game 3, and it seems like the main character is Tilted Waffle, on the redemption arc, getting the heads-up save to prevent Fearless Bravo from scoring what would have been the go-ahead goal, which then turns into...
Oh my word!
What is going on? Spots out of nowhere!
What a touch spot! The fuck? Oh, sorry, my bad. The sideball read of dreams. Oh my word! That was ruthless. You can't do that, Spots. That's killer. Oh my god!
I'm speechless. You know, Bryn is gonna get one back for Fearless Bravo, but you know, it doesn't really matter. That super pinch from afar, from Spots gave the cushion, the 2-goal cushion to Saturnia. So now, even though there's one more on the scoreboard for Fearless Bravo, which they hadn't been able to get in over 5 minutes, it's still the lead for the number 10 seed team. But maybe Fearless Bravo wants something else. No, Anthony is going to deny back-to-back shots. And in 2 minutes of play, 2 goals for Saturnia are giving them the lead. And if it ended right here, it would be the series lead as well.
100%, definitely an incredible game. Double demo coming out, and they just can't capitalize on it. That was a double demo. They should have scored that, but they just didn't. They couldn't capitalize, and that's Ethereal. Now Ethereal going for a solo play, gets it past, but it doesn't come to light. But now that's Bryn with a shot, and they equalize. 2.5 minutes left.
And you can see that one coming, right? It was so much presence from Fearless Bravo, not just in the offensive half of Saturnia, but in the offensive third. They were playing so close to their net. I believe they stole both of their big boost canisters in both corners. You know, it was clearly the chance that Fearless Bravo were looking for. They play their game perfectly, and now they've managed to equalize it. Going into the second half of our game, it's almost a clean slate, except that Fearless Bravo have all the momentum going. They've scored back-to-back goals. Nothing for Saturnia ever since that crazy pinch from Spots, and now Bryn is going to get the redirect backwards touch. Beautiful pass from Ethereal. This team play from Fearless Bravo is unmatched right now.
100%.
What a beauty.
Domination. A lovely shot. And that's 3 goals in such a quick proximity of time. And it's making you think, are the cracks of Saturnia starting to reopen like they did in game 1. A double commit from Tilted Waffle and Anthony, and that's now Spods. Spods taking it to Anthony. That's a ground pinch. Just can't come to light, and that's Anthony going for a solo play. Anthony is just trying to get it out, and that's Ethereal. All 100 boosts being used. That's a double touch attempt, but it doesn't come to light. That's a shot. Anthony with a save, and Bryn with a fake. This is starting to get worrying, and that's Spods, and that's a goal for Bryn. Oh. Clutching up and getting the goal to gap the scoreline even further now.
Oh, someone get Bryn to a physiotherapist because their back is gonna be broken after carrying game 3 for Fearless Bravo. Now the 2-goal cushion is theirs with a minute and slightly more than half to go. But 4 goals for the same player, 6 shots. Although now it is going to be 1 goal back. Tilted Waffle gonna be the one to tap it in, but it was really all 3 players. You can see it there, the armada of Saturnia going forward. Anthony and Spods leave it be. A double commit from Fearless Bravo, kinda uncharacteristic from them. It's going to cut the lead in half, but still all to play with 95 seconds to go.
95 seconds, and that's a double touch attempt, but getting blocked out quickly. Tilted Waffle trying to go for a play now, and that's Spods getting the bumps, getting the 100 boost as well. Spods can work with something here, and that's a pinch out. Anthony now going back to the corner to get boost, to get that ball, and that's Spods missing. That's a shot. That's Bryn. Spods with the save. Ethereal popping the ball up, going for a double, but that's Buddha. What a save from Waffle, keeping them in with a shot. And that's now, what are we going to see? Anthony trying to get a goal, trying to keep the hopes alive, trying to give them anything. And that's Spots and Tilted trying to connect here. Tilted probably didn't need to get that extra touch, but did. And that's Anthony now. Demo comes out. Waffle missing the ball. Could there be Spods? No, Spods taking a save, getting a touch up in the air. Bryn goes up. Oh my word, Anthony now having to... Anthony getting demoed actually. 30 seconds left on the play. And right now I'm not sure if Saturnia have it in them to get a second goal. And the scoreline is widened from Ethereal's goal.
It was almost there from Saturnia, but that missed touch from Spods is going to be the downfall for the Sistema team. Now with 23 seconds to go, it's definitely doable, but it's gonna be very hard. It would need to be a kickoff goal here. They're certainly going for it, but Buddha is going to be there to deny it, and that might have well just won it for Fearless Bravo. They get on the counterattack now, and with the clock ticking down on the 10-second countdown, the announcer is there, and 2-1 will be the scoreline on the series. Fearless Bravo going into game 4 with the chance to win it all. Not the 4-0 sweep that they wanted, but still, a win is a win, and they will put themselves in a close position to do that.
100%. They probably need this win if they want to keep their first place position. You know, coming into this game, they probably expected a 4-0 sweep and not Saturnia to keep them on their toes. Looking at the scoreboard of Saturnia, you know, all players getting stuck in. All of them have a save. All of them have a goal. All of them have a shot. They are doing everything. They are playing within each other. They are playing great, might I say, against the first place team. To be only 2 goals down, especially with a sub up from rival, is something of magic, you could say. And, yeah.
Most definitely. It's been a great performance from Tilted Waffle, and I don't think people understand really the importance of those 2 saves he got in the end. They were kind of all for naught because the result is just what it is, and at the end of the day, it's going to be a 2-1 a notch for Fearless Bravo in their scoreboard. But there were several points at which the series was tied. I think at the beginning of the game at 0-0, and then at 3-3, where Fearless had a very good chance to score to go ahead, and then Tilted Waffle came out of nowhere. It completely surprised me both times. And in the end, like I said, it didn't pan out, but really that is something that cannot be understated. Now the super sub, punching above his weight class. I think this could be a satisfactory performance. They can call this a good performance already from the sub, but they don't want just to go down 3-1. They want this draw. It's the most that they can aspire to, of course, here in game number 4, having dropped already 2 games. But I think for a franchise that is sitting dead last, a draw against the #1 seed would be a world worth of gold. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, because it is really incalculable value for a team that could struggle to even get to the playoffs, the play-ins, you know, the postseason in general. Everything counts. And for the moment, they are looking like they want this offense, but Fearless Bravo holding on strong on the defense of Beckwith Park.
They're holding on with everything they can, but a little overextension and a tilted waffle shot! Oh my word! This is what you expect at RSC! Players that you wouldn't think could perform have just scored a banging goal! And it is, once again, 1-0 to Saturnia.
That's just ridiculous. I mean, Tilted Waffle just becoming the math teacher, bringing out the protractor, getting a crazy angle, and now they're going to go for another one. Anthony on the solo play, though, doesn't get the demo from spots. Maybe an opportunity for a counter for Fearless Bravo, but no, Anthony is able to regain control of Volt, trying to go for an infield pass to absolutely no one in the midfield, but still, the advantage is to Saturnia. How long it will stand for, though, remains to be seen. Trading demos in the midfield is indeed going to go in favor of the Solaris team. And with time ticking down, a minute and a half almost already gone by, Fearless Bravo, they don't look really like they have been overwhelmed like in Game 2. But they aren't looking super dapper either. They're going to need to get out of their own half and find some good offensive opportunities. The thing is, you know what they're capable of. They're the #1 seed for a reason, and it feels like it's just a matter of time before they get something for their count.
Yeah, you think that, that's Buddha! What a pinch, but it just doesn't come to light. Buddha, the super sub right now of Bravo as well. Definitely doing what he can. He's not an FA sub. He is their GM. He is their captain. But that is Buddha doing the work, putting the graft in, just to know a mass. And now we see Tilted Waffle getting stuck in. Tilted Waffle! Oh my word! The one to do it, the one that could. What a play! What a touch to the corner, and what a demo! That is amazing. Link ups are there, and Saturnia are now 2-0 up in Game 4.
Someone give the script writers a raise, because this is straight fire. The super sub coming in from a lower category, punching above his weight, and being arguably, I wouldn't say arguably, I would say clearly the team MVP, getting goals, getting demos, getting bumps, getting assists, getting saves, getting everything done for the side of Saturnia. Maybe they want to find another one, and just like that, we find ourselves past the equator of the last game of our series. Saturnia in prime position to get a draw out of this one. Like we said, everything that they could have wished for. Maybe not more, because, you know, a win would have been slightly better, and it wasn't out of reason, I think, after game number 2, but unfortunately, Fearless Bravo, they were just a bit too strong. Now they have to hold on in the last 120 seconds, because this offense is going to be ruthless.
100%. This offense is going to be the key decision here. Will Bravo have what it takes? Will they be able to perform up to their first place spots? Oh my word! You have just done the nuttiest solo play of the series. Oh my word! You can't do that. That is disgusting. As they gap the scoreline to 3-0.
Spods really wants that spotlight. It was the pinch goal before. It was that beauty that we just had right here to bring the lead to 3 in the last 90 seconds. Fearless Bravo, they've shown some things, but if you take a look at the scoreboard, 2 players under 100 points. Yeah, shots for all of them. No goals, no assists, no saves. That is the most eye-catching statistic. I feel like everything that Saturnia has thrown at them has gone in, but now they're going to get one of their own before that 60-second mark hits. So maybe there's still a chance for them to gain a victory here in game number 4.
Definitely. This is so intense. They have a chance. There is a chance to come back. A minute 17. 70 seconds left. And that's
no.
Oh no! The caster curse has just come out. As soon as we're
can't
saying that they
happen.
could come back, and that's Anthony and Tilted Waffle once again. Goal
Oh,
and assister, and it's now 4-1 again.
I was just thinking about it. Ethereal was sitting at about 60.17 max. Then he got 2 shots back to back and a goal to put him top of the scoreboard for his team at 240 points. But then he whiffs the biggest ball, arguably, of the game to bring the lead back to 3 for Saturnia, who, with time ticking down, less than a minute now, it feels like they are going to get this draw 2-2, and it's just a matter of how many goals are going to be scored in total. This is looking like the most goals scored for any game of this series. I believe we've already reached that mark. Certainly, we will surpass it if we get any goals from either of these two teams, but it just feels not possible for Fearless Bravo. They did everything that they could, but they are falling short massively here in game number 4. Whiffs, missed saves, no shots on target. Really a shadow of the former selves.
100%. After game 2, after game 1, I'll argue, it's really gone downhill for them. Because, you know, they had their first game of just completely dominating, like, a lockdown of a series, and now they've crumbled. They will definitely be to the drawing board after this series. They will have to have a word, and really they were going to have to think about what they did wrong. 0 seconds, regulation time. Congratulations, Saturnia! You have secured yourself a draw against first place.
That is a win in my book. Honestly, if I am Saturnia, Sistema Solar, the players, everyone, I'm happy with what they got. After game 1, it looked like it was be a quick 4-0. Instead, it's a 2-2. The coach buff is real. Hecky working some magic. Tilted Waffle really carrying on their backs. The carry from Brain in game 3 just wasn't enough. And what a giga banger to start the day. I mean, any series after this is gonna have to be outstanding, even better than outstanding, to come up to the level of Rocket League that we just experienced. How can you top this, Jasper? Honestly, tell me. How do you get anything better than this?
Honestly, I don't know myself. This series was incredible. Such a glorious series for both teams. A 2-2 is not something to grumble at. But, people, do not go anywhere, because after this, we have Vanguards versus Is Kotal. It's Kotal, I don't know how to say their name. But do not go anywhere, because in a short 17 minutes time, you will see another Elite Series. But I have been Jasper. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Got your little lies, one more at a time. If I had a dime, every time you thought you got away with your petty little crimes, I'd be living life, never in a bad mood. Oh, I don't wanna get too close. Every word that you speak, is it real? Smooth talker, running your mouth again, bury yourself in it. Big shocker, tryna mess with my head, pushing me off the edge. Soon, yeah, you'll be biting your tongue for the rest of your life. Remember my name till the day that you die. Your lungs won't have enough left to survive. Smooth talker, running your mouth again, bury yourself in it. Big shocker, tryna mess with my head, pushing me off the edge. Soon, yeah, you'll be biting your tongue for the rest of your life. Remember my name till the day that you die. Your lungs won't have enough left to survive. Smooth talker, running your mouth again, bury yourself in it. Big shocker, tryna mess with my head, pushing me off the edge. Soon, yeah, you'll be biting your tongue for the rest of your life. Remember my name till the day that you die. Your lungs won't have enough left to survive. Smooth talker.
One more time, I wanna see your smile. One more time, till the end. One more time, I wanna see your smile. One more time, till the end.
I can see the sunlight fade away. Ooh, come a little closer, stay with me. Ooh, guess I've always been a little afraid of the darkness. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No matter where I'm at, I'll be okay. When you say I'll be a sun ray shining through the dark night, dancing till the sunrise, baby.
sunshine. It was hard, long nights and hard times, but you are still the only one that feels like home. Cause even through all of the dark times, we had a spark that lit up and it still shines. And I am terrified of being left alone. Girl, I know it's best that we both go before we hurt each other even more. We both need time to grow. And I feel safe for when we're fighting and when we are both divided. But I need to learn to stand on my own. Need to learn to stand on my own. Stand on my own. Baby, you are the only one who's ever seen behind all of my walls. Just promise me you won't forget me and all the plans we made for when we were both And I know it's best we go, best we leave before we hurt each other more. I just hope that once we take our paths will cross and I will see your face again, see your face again. I just hope that I can see your face again. It wasn't all tired to run, nothing but see your face again. It was hard, you are still the only one that feels like home. See your face again.
Can't you see the issue? Can't you see the problem here? Always knew you were bad news, making me want to disappear. Can't you see the issue? Can't you see the problem here? Not surprised that it's true. Now I'm glad we're through. Kinda glad we're over. Don't have to deal with that no more. I got the freedom I need. Now I can finally breathe. We got so many issues. What are you trying to prove? We got so many issues. So I'm glad we're through. Da da da, da da da, da 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 da, da da da, da da da, da 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 da. Trying to win me back, but you just cry, 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 cry. Nothing that you did was ever right, 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 right. Now it's time to say goodbye, bye, bye, bye. Cause all you ever did was lie, 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 lie. Kinda glad we're over. Don't have to deal with that no more. I got the freedom I need. Now I can finally breathe. We got so many issues. What are you trying to prove? We got so many issues. So I'm glad we're through. Da da da, da da da.
been feeling so yours, so yours. And lately, I've been trying to come over lately. But you seem to have this way about you lately. And I can't take it, I can't. And you'll see that I'm not just like anybody, baby, baby, baby. So you know, let's not do you mind. Feel something different. Cause baby, you and I both know we missed it. Not do you mind. Feel something different.
I'm the storm that meets the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Hello, welcome back to RSC EU. Welcome back for another great set of matches, or for a great series, whatever you want to call it. I'm Alligator, back here with my friend, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Biggles. How are you doing?
Well, thank you very much. A legend. Well, I'd have to retire from casting in order to be in the legendary status, but I do much appreciate it, of course. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm from down under, so I can provide the croc and you can provide the alligator. So I think both of us at the moment, mate, can get our teeth into this next match that's coming up. That first one you just saw earlier, that tied, but 2 apiece there. But this next one, of course, we're going to have the Vanguards versus the It's a Collie. I'm going to keep messing that one up, but that's you currently see that at the moment in this elite division for the Ignis series, I believe it is. And it's going to be interesting, isn't it, mate, just to go over that one, because 4th in the standings are Vanguard currently at the moment, and very, very closely is its coat is so 29 and 28 wins between them, and they're on a winning streak, aren't they? Vanguard's won the last 3, and its coat has won the last 4. So, how do you think this one's going to pan out?
Certainly an interesting fight. You see it right there. You were talking about the streaks, very close. Also in the standings, 29 wins for Vanguards. It's Guadal with 28 to their name, neck and neck in all types of statistics. One more loss for the red side, one more win, of course, for the blue side. Goals for, goals against. We can see it's Coatl. They haven't conceded as many as Vanguards, but Vanguards have scored more. Also have a lot more saves and a lot more demos, but a worse shooting percentage. So gonna be very interesting how these two styles clash. It feels like it's Coatl maybe are a bit more passive in their approach, but maybe a bit more precise. You know, kind of like a surgeon. You gotta be patient, but when you strike with deadly force. Now, taking a look at the players here, we don't have many statistics for a lot of them, but the ones that we have are certainly interesting to look at.
They're keeping it anonymous, aren't they? They're keeping it private over there on the left side there for the Vanguard. So, yeah, it is very, very interesting. But sometimes I say, you know, it depends on who you're playing with in your team at the time. Somebody will step up a little bit. Somebody will have a different play style. So those statistics will definitely balance themselves around there. But it all matters on the court at the end of the day, and the scores that you're going to be able to get. Welcome everybody in the chat too. I forgot to say thank you to everybody in the chat for tuning in. Much appreciated that you're spending your Wednesday evening, night, or day, depending on where you are in the world. Of course, this is the European division, so I presume most of you are up in the later hours in that neck of the woods. But over to predictions, my friend, because we're going to get ready to go here. The Anfield night. New graphics that we have presented here for the second time. It was debuted yesterday, so I hope everybody's enjoying it. Give us a thumbs up out there if you are enjoying it. And once again, there's sold out egg stadiums. Sold out with the eggs, of course. No tickets are available, unfortunately, so if you didn't get them early, you're going to have to sit back and just watch this on the stream.
Well, you mentioned predictions right there. These two teams neck and neck. I have to say, no, it's not gonna be a 2-2. What kind of boring answer would that be? It's gonna be Itzcoatl taking it 3-1. I know the upset. I have seen the script. It is all written in the stars. It is meant to be. How about you, Biggles? Do you have any spicy takes for us, or are you going to be boring and say 2-2?
No, I never sit on the fence, mate. That's what you other casters do most of the time. I'm going for the Vanguards 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah. I did a sweep prediction yesterday, but it was a 3-1. So now I'm gonna go just roll it back a little bit to the 3-1, especially because these teams are so close, and that's what also happened yesterday with the game that I was casting. So yeah, I'm not going to risk it for the biscuit too much just yet. I think we're going to see these teams are going to be doing. Remember, the playoffs are coming up soon, so we're getting deep into the season. It's going to be very interesting to see whether or not Vanguards can put on a good show here today. Depending on Carbo as well, too. They're third in the standings. I think some of the other teams, Tigris and Honda, I think they are called. They've been getting a couple of wins in these matches that are currently been going today as well, too, that we're not casting. So that's going to be very, very interesting, the fight for the top of the standings. But this one at the moment, it's these two teams that we're more focused on, of course. So we'll see how they're going to pan out. But maybe Vanguards could be possibly getting into that top 4 position. Don't you count out its Codal?
Well, I believe everyone is ready to go. I'm not entirely sure if we're waiting on someone. Okay, apparently everyone is ready to rock and roll here. No, apparently not. We're still waiting on players. I don't know what's happening. It's chaos in the lobby. The players are trolling us. Roll the game. Here we go. Our first 5 minutes of Rocket League.
They joined the wrong practice field. They went to the practice field, mate, just outside the stadium area here at the moment. That's their problem.
I am so confused.
Yeah. So, I don't know if we're going ahead with this one. I say, why not?
I think we are.
The field's a field. It doesn't matter if it's going to be matching the specific one, because, hey, the physics is still going to be applied the same. Here we go. Anyway, we are live, and we are getting on with this first game at the moment.
It's gonna be Vanguards on the blue side for us, Battle on the orange side, of course, for you at home. The colors are different, courtesy of those wonderful overlays that we just can't stop talking about. But Vanguards, they have found themselves boxed a little bit in their own half after a little bit of offense in the first few seconds of the game. Almost a minute gone by here in game number 1. Both teams just prodding each other, trying to see what the game plan is, what we're going for, the tempo, the mechanics, the commitments, the passing plays, etc., etc. But now is where things get interesting, because as soon as we cross the, I don't know, minute and a half gone time mark, that's I think is when the teams start to get more offensive. That's when they start to get aggressive. We're very close to that moment, Biggles.
Yes, you're exactly right, because it's the first little ping-pong match at the start there. As you said, everybody's getting... There's a couple of good shots that they're starting to fire currently at the moment, I have to say, for the Vanguards, and also some fantastic defense. Well, had to be fantastic defense, otherwise there would have been early goals. And it's creeping into that situation right now where you said, start spreading your players out a little bit, start connecting on those passing plays, and see if your opponent's going to be at the right place at the right time. Otherwise, score.
For the moment, nothing really to write home about for any of the teams. A single shot for Vanguards, courtesy of First Beast, but really, I don't even know where it came from. Now Hypnos is going to get the first one for Itzcoatl. Maybe a little passing play here. Actually, no, he's going to go for his second on target, and Sato getting his second save, I believe. But the defense holds on strong.
Absolutely. It's a little bit just off to the crossbar on that one, but great passing play. You'd assume it was a passing play. Blaze of toe, yeah, it was definitely a pass. And they're going to continue that one up at the moment. I'd have to say that its Coltal is going to be doing its coat a good job. Well, we're going to be perhaps putting the right wardrobe on. Oh, those puns are really rusty at the moment. Got some cobwebs in it, but I hope everybody's enjoying themselves, and thank you very much. Everybody was saying it there about the graphics. And well, there's the Ellie Kitten. Meow.
Yeah, speaking of cobwebs, really dusting the ones on the net here. Top right angle off the post. Really, really good shot placement. I was going to say went in the second half of our game almost without realizing that we had already played for almost 3 entire minutes. But suddenly, it's got, they want to wake us up from our slumber. They want to say, hey, here we are, we're still playing. There's still a lot to be played for here in the field. We're talking a little bit about it before we started. We went back on stream. We're talking the implications of all the results on and off stream, how these victories, losses, draws, everything, even the game differentials could impact the postseason probabilities, who goes into playoffs, who goes into play-ins, and the Azteca franchise, Aztecs, they don't want to have those teams go through their playoffs. Through their play-ins. They really want to go straight to the playoffs, and you can see Ellie Kitten going for another one. Friday Says almost puts it in, and this offense is so good.
Yeah, the waterfall like that at the moment there, they just could not quite get somebody charged up at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but they're applying their pressure. Ellie Kitten's fired up, Friday's fired up, Hypnosis fired up. And I tell you what, the team that needs to be fired up right now is Vanguards. They were putting some great early shots on at the moment, but at the moment, now they're under massive pressure. And Friday says, it's time for me to score second on the board.
A little bit of help with First Beast in there. I believe that shot would have gone in anyway, because Eevee, I don't recovery, they were facing backwards. It's going to be the second for Itzcoatl that have really looked like, I don't want to say the dominant force here in game number 1, but definitely they have been the ones with the most offensive pressure. They spent, I think, upwards of 3 minutes in this blue half, whereas Vanguards, like you said, a bit of the initial pressure at the beginning of the game, but nothing else to account for. And now going into the last 60 seconds, maybe they can get something going for themselves. There it is! Eevee bringing it back.
Right on cue. Yep. And you can see that's because of the demo there. It just couldn't get the boost on, and of course back in the goal area there, and that's an easy peasy there for the Mexicano of Eevee. So they get one on the board there. They got 45 seconds to get another one, since it's one at OT or the first game. Go to the, just think of the color there for a second. What color are they?
There we go. First Beast, really slow game. I want to say right here, they had that opening shot for the side of Vanguards. Then I'm seeing they did get the assist on that one solitary goal that they got, but they were also part of that almost own goal that ended up going in for the second for, I believe it was Friday, on the side of Itzcoatl, and now having to go back is Eevee, trying to mount the counterattack here because time has been ticking low. That ball is a bit too long. Is it going to drop to the ground? No, it isn't. It's actually going to bounce into the corner.
There's an opportunity if somebody can get any boost left. No, the gas
That's
tank
it,
is
surely.
empty. Oh, yeah, exactly. Wow. All right, so, well, you'd have to say, and the players that they did a fantastic job across the board. We'll get some of those statistics in a moment, but Azteca, well, they got it done, didn't they? And they came out a little bit slow. Both teams slow out of the gate there, but they just picked it up and put it in another level. And I think it's caught Vanguard sleeping a little bit now. Vanguards, of course, at the moment are going to be probably refilling those cars there and maybe having a quick shot of some dark coffee or something like that to wake themselves back up, try to bring themselves into this second game. Hope everybody's having fun. Thank you very much for the gifted tier 1 sub out there too. Fenny Fox, I think it is, and that gifted sub went to Marks. I'll get through these names.
You'll have to see the support from the community, of course. We couldn't do any of this without all of you. Our players are back in the lobby, like you said, Sato and First Beast. They took a quick exit. Eevee was a bit cheeky with the comments saying 1v3. And honestly, it was the best player from Vanguards, the one with the goal, 1 save, 1 shot as well, no assists. But they only scored 1. They didn't really get a chance for assists. Now in game number 2, this is going to be what makes or breaks the series, I feel like, because if Itzcoatl are able to get the victory, they will put themselves at series point, a double series point, although if they go to game 4, they would be at risk of a draw. On the other hand, Vanguards, they want to start hot off the gates, and Eevee is doing exactly that.
They're seeing this, applying the pressure immediately. Nobody to follow it up. unless Sato could get there. And there's a passing play midfield there, goes straight over to Eve. And actually passes right over Eve. First piece is down, got a tap on the ball there. Actually, somebody going to chase it up to try to defend it. They're going to run out of gas. It will go straight into Eve. But Eve has had to launch it off to the side there. Missed opportunity. Now it's only one man back. And that's Mr. First Beast. Could be a man or woman. I do apologize. We have every gender can play this fantastic game. Let's go. We'll see if they're going to get that cross play passing. It'll be slow and steady. Sometimes I say that wins the race, wins the game. How are you finding this one so far, my friend? 1 minute gone.
For the moment, I think I'm seeing what I need to see from the Vanguard. Been not too strong, but they've had already 3 shots to 0 from Itzcoatl, so they certainly have the pressure that they need to sometime in the next, I don't know, minute or so score a goal. But they have to be careful, because these counterattacks from the Aztecs franchise team are very, very strong, and it only takes one for them to just hunker down and run away with the lead. But I always say that when you keep that much offensive pressure, it doesn't matter if the opponents are saving every single shot that you throw at them. Sooner or later, even if it's just by pure chance, even if it's just by the power of statistics, you are going to get a goal. So for Vanguards, good looks, I think, but they have to be careful to not run out of time as well.
As I say, you keep knocking on the door over and over again. Somebody's going to have to answer eventually, aren't they? So keep applying the knocks as we are down to just under 3 minutes. Similar situation. This is not a replay. This is close to exactly what happened in the first match. And then you get down to the business end of the clock, and then you start seeing those teams scoring. So at the moment, who wants to do that one first? He's got Skyborn almost all the way. Couldn't quite keep the pace up at the end there. We'll go to first piece. Anybody going to slam this one? Good defense from Friday's actually gone. Almost get a conversion down the other end. That's exactly what you want to do, isn't it? Clear it all the way down and then force the opponent back into defense.
Yeah, half of the game gone, and now we're starting to see that Vanguards that is technically a higher seed than their counterparts on the other side of the field, trying to show that they deserve to be on top. That game number 1, I don't want to say it was a fluke victory, but they might consider it that. They might think that they have something to prove. They haven't proven it just yet, if you ask me, but they are very, very to doing so. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw overtime here in game number 2 or further down the series. But it's Coatl. They've already had a couple counterattack opportunities. They have to be careful not to concede too much space on the defense, though, because Vanguards are really, really hunting for this goal. And Evie almost getting that one. Friday says, is he going to get it? No.
He had a straight shot. It was totally up to the defense of Sato. That was amazing. Yeah, you can't think at this point with the clock being so low that those missed opportunities may come back and bite you later on. Because now, look at that pressure, hasn't it, from the Aztecs. They come back there and they're starting to just they're getting the shots on goal almost perfectly. Just that lucky that the defense is there. I'd have to say that the Vanguards, they need to get their shots a little bit more accurately, and then they're definitely going to be scoring soon. Look at that patience. Look at this. He's waiting for his teammate to come up, but I think that might have been a bad mistake. There, Gator.
Yeah, the lack of boost.
I
I think it was a lack of boost. Their tank was at 0, and they didn't really know how to challenge that one. But like you said, that might have been a very costly mistake, because as time keeps ticking down, they really need to score. Because the presence from Itzcoatl has only grown and grown in the second half of the game, and it feels like a goal could be coming their way, even though Vanguards have controlled the offense for the majority of this second match.
Let's see how it pans out with just under a minute to go. There's the 3s on the clock, the 0s on the scoreboard. Broken up play again. He's charging through. Good defense. Even had to be there. Otherwise, the door was left open. They would have been burgled one. And this late into the game, you don't want to be burgled at all. You got to lock your doors, shut your windows, and deny an opportunity for a goal, especially this deep into this one. Especially you didn't want to give it to Itzcoatl as well. Not just late into it and put them up in the series. And I believe, unless anything happens, we're going to go to an OT. Final chance.
Ooh.
Cheers gets to it. Maybe.
There it is.
There it is.
Overtime, extra time, end of regulation. And came through And at 0-0, this will be a one game, and so fast, so quick, only 5 seconds, Eevee breaks through.
Have a look at this. So it was a 50 off the ball there, broken play. Ellie Kitten couldn't quite get to it. Eevee capitalized on that one, and just like that, it only took him 5 seconds to get it done on OT, but 5 minutes of no scoring before that one. But we have a game series, of course, because now you're tied up. The Vanguards now get the first win.
And Eevee spearheading that attack from the Vanguards. 5 shots, only 1 goal. Not the best accuracy percentage that you want to be looking at, and still the only goal scorer for that side of the Fort Templar team. 1 goal in game number 1, of course, and this one to break the parity, but to bring the parity to the series overall. Tied at 1 apiece. Very interesting game number 2. I think we had here big goals, because even though the scoreline might lead outsiders to think it was boring, it was anything but.
Yeah, absolutely anything but. And we're going to continue to see more of this as remember, the players are going to start to get to know each other more. They're spending more pitch time together, so they're starting to go, all right, so let's change the strategy up a little bit. I'm not quite sure if you get into that situation when you're in desperation just yet, but we'll see. A couple of players are just stepping out there for a quick break, I presume, there, and get back into this one. But your predictions at the moment, mate, you flipped it against me, but currently at the moment, we're still both accurate, aren't we? We still are both accurate. We're still on for 100% at this point, but this next game right now, game 3, well, that's going to determine if I'm going to be up on the prediction or you're going to be up on the prediction. And everybody else in the chat, so please give us your predictions. We'll give you, because you got an extra chance. You got 2 games already that have been down, so now you can get even more of an accurate prediction.
Yeah, we had, I believe it was Spooks and Detroit, both cheering for each of our predictions. Actually, Spooks agreed with mine, and Detroit agreed. So clearly, a lot of people thinking that it's not going to be a draw here. Like I said, this game is going to make or break those predictions, but most importantly, it's going to make or break this series for both of these 2 teams, because one of them is going to go on series point. The other one is only going to be able to go for a draw overall. And it's Coatl. They've had some great moments in game number 2. They just couldn't capitalize on them. They just couldn't close it out, and they were punished by it. They don't want to repeat the same mistake here in game number 3, even though we're playing Forbidden Temple. You know, we had that first game mishap. So, game number 3, you can see it up there, I think, in the scoreboard on your screens. And parity, once again, the 0-0 in the scoreboard.
Got to get the angle on this one. Opportunities, of course, there for the Vanguards. Well, come and think of it, my friend, a little bit later after the final game of the casting, I'll be actually heading to a Japanese restaurant that has one of those trees that you see in the background. Just inside the restaurant, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'll be in a Forbidden Temple after this Rocket League series tonight. That'll be fun. But for now, we're here in the Forbidden Temple in the virtual world, and still golden opportunities there for Vanguards, but even better defense currently at the moment from the It's Cole. So they got to continue this, and you'd have to say first to score on this one, my friend, may be the one that takes the lead in the series.
I wouldn't be surprised at all, and I thought that was going to be a goal opportunity. Not a goal opportunity, I thought it was going to be a goal for It's Coatl, but it was just that tiny bit too far away from the post. It bounced out instead of in, and those margins are very small, 1 pixel or less, but still 0-0, tied.
Yeah, it depends if you got an 8K screen resolution. Asato gets his first score for the team, his or her first score for the team. Assist there from First Beast there, putting it, so here you go, just tap it home, bang, straight there, gets it done. Bingo, they're on a roll now, 2 goals in a row. Well, doesn't matter how many you get in a row, as long as you get enough, they give you the scoreboard for this one. So you to go back and have a look at the clip yesterday. There was one for the Elites here that I was casting between Anjo and Surveillance, because that ball was bouncing on that line, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, so you never know. That was crazy, never seen that before in Rocket League. Well, why not? It's the RSC EU. You're about to see new things you've never seen before in your life of Rocket League. At the moment, some of these players, what they want to be seeing, my friend, is the scoreline a little bit in their favor.
Yeah, and this is 5+ minutes, almost going on 7, 8, and counting, that It's Coatl have had good chances to score, but just haven't been able to put that one up. In the previous game, it was 1-0 in favor of Vanguards. In this game, it's also 1-0 in favor of Vanguards. A little bit earlier, maybe no OT for this one if the scoreline stays the same. But really, this Aztecs team wants something more. They want a victory. They are not content with a draw, especially because that would still keep them below in the standings. Good save from Hypnos, but the attack is unrelenting. Eevee going to be there for the follow-up. The defense stays strong. I don't think that's a problem for Itzcoatl. I think the problem is the offense. I don't know if they're just unable to find the demos or the aim is not on point. The goals are simply not coming.
Yeah, you can see that at the moment. I think the strategy, their passing plays, the spacing even. Oh, that was on goal. They're still getting the accurate shots as Hypnosize 4.0. Forget about the 3.0. It's been an upgrade right now, and there's an upgrade to their scoreboard.
Whew, we got a game in our hands. 92 remaining play from Itzcoatl. It felt like it was going to end in a goal. It was beautiful. The attempt at the air bump, the air dribble, and at the end, it wasn't quite as glamorous, but Hypnos still finding a good angle, beating the defender to put the equalizer on here. We were saying maybe an overtime here in game 3, but maybe we won't end this in regulation.
It's a possibility, but remember what happened last time. 5 seconds it took Vanguards to get a score. And remember, Vanguards, I have backed you, so don't let me down. However, you know, I'm really rooting for both teams at the other day. We just have to do a prediction because we have to do a prediction. That's a requirement that we have here as casters. But you know, I don't have any particular favourite teams or anything. I don't even know anybody in any of the teams, so I'm sitting on the fence on that one. But I made a prediction, so here it is. Both teams are playing absolutely great, I'd have to say. We expect that, don't we, from teams that are currently 4th and 5th in their standings currently at the moment and playing like they are true champions and wanting to get themselves into the playoffs.
Exactly. We might not be fans of either team specifically, but we are both fans of Great Rocket League, that I know for sure. Everyone watching at home, I think they are as well. And what we are getting is certainly Great Rocket League neck and neck. You can't ask for anything tighter. Now in the last 10 seconds, it's going to be Itzcoatl with potentially the last opportunity of the game. Are they going to be able to find a goal? Are they going to close it out in regulation, or is yet another OT? Vanguard's looking for that opportunity. They scored in 5 seconds in the previous one. How long is it on this one? And who's going to be coming up ahead?
Do you know what it is, my friend? I heard that the teams want to go this to OT. They're pushing it deliberately in OT because they're just enjoying this new graphics package that we have here at the moment. So they just want to see more of it. That's what that is.
Beautiful.
They're inevitably delaying the game just for that aspect so they can watch this one back at later and just admire how their cars and their teams look. But otherwise, somebody's going to shut the door soon. That's going to be a dangerous place. Who can nail it home? Nobody can send it home. They forgot the stamp, my friend. And, you know, you can't mail anything without the stamp. Otherwise, it'll get returned to sender.
Return to sender is what's happening with the ball right now. No one wants to keep it in their own half. There was a good counter for Vanguards, but they just were too separate, too far apart of each other to get those passing plays going. And once again, back and forth, ping pong, volleyball, Rocket League, whatever you want to call it. It is not clear who is going to come out on top at all. Vanguards, I feel like, maybe have a light touch more pressure, but it's caught. We know how explosive they are. We know they don't need that much of an offensive presence, but rather just good opportunities, good chances to get that ball in front of the blue net, and they will capitalize on it. A longer overtime, of course, than we had in the game. Already a minute and almost a half gone by. No clear team coming out on top, but Vanguards, the way they've been playing, I would expect them to be the first ones to score.
There it is. There's a 50. So it's going to be a dangerous bounce, and there it is.
There it
a million
is.
miles an hour. Eevee will not fail on that shot. Almost has 6 letters of E with a V in the middle, but a V for victory in this match. It says Eevee. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it, but Eevee certainly does. The Vanguards will take the game 3 and put themselves up 2 in the series.
That was beautiful, and of course, it was gonna be Eevee. It was always gonna be Eevee spearing that attack for Vanguards. It I'm kind of sad that my prediction is not possible anymore. Maybe we'll get that draw that we were talking about at the beginning. I think that would be the preferred outcome for Itzcoatl right now. Of course, it's either that or the Series L, and I don't think they won that on their record. But really, that offense from Vanguards has come so far from game number one. Game number one, yes, they were getting a lot of opportunities, but they were not converting. They were getting scored on all those counterattacks. The defense has solidified. The offense has been polished. And now they are primed and ready to take game number 4. The last one of this series could be a very entertaining one. It's everything to play for Itzcoatl. Their backs are against the wall, and that might make them more dangerous. But Vanguards at the same time are going to be looking for those overcommits on the offense that maybe can open up some lanes of attack. My question now, Biggles, your prediction is still alive. Do you think you're going to get it right, or do you think it's going to end up being a tie 2-2?
It's close. It is so close. That's a very, very difficult decision because both these teams are very much capable of scoring. It's just a matter of who wants to get it right, the right place. And the defense has been the key too from both teams, obviously, because if they're not there to defend, there's easy goals. But we're going to find out right now in Game 4 and whether or not I'm going to be predicted to be correct. And by the way, I wanted to ask you real quick there, Mr. Gator, how did you go on your prediction for the first round? I know you were commentating it.
I was gonna say, I believe I got it wrong. Yeah, I got it absolutely wrong. We were both, Jasper and I, predicting a quick throw for Bravo. I mean, it was first seed against 10th seed, and instead it ended up being a draw. That was an absolute gigabanger of a series. I don't think this one, I have to say, is living quite up to the level of that one, but it's certainly being interesting, and now it's got want to make it even more interesting with a goal of their own, putting on the early pressure on Vanguards, but this squad is unrelenting, and they know that if they hold on strong on the defense, they can get those goals on the offense. That's exactly what they're looking to do here in the first minute of game number 4.
And just to let everybody out there know, for the RSC EU, we got all the statistics and all that sort of jazz. That anybody going to fire that one through? No. All the statistics and all that jazz, of course, for the players and teams and stuff like that. But there's also a little tiny battle that goes on behind the scenes between the commentators as to their predictions at the end of the season as to how many they get. So that's our little thing that we have up in the casting booth, that we like to have our own breaking rights. So that's the reason why we have those predictions and stuff like that. See who comes out at the top of that one at the end of the season. And here we go. Some of these players at the moment playing with their food, you would say, just bringing the defense out there, maybe drawing their attention to them.
Playing very carefully, I think, is the definition of this game. Yeah, exactly. They don't make any mistakes.
That's not. First piece is hungry for a goal, and there it is. That's all because of who? What is it again? The
Always
player
Evie.
that starts with an E and ends with an E. And helps.
E.
Yeah, Evie helps Beast, and that's another momentum swing, isn't it? Because now Vanguards, remember, have essentially, what if they scored +3 in a row, really? If you count the existing games.
I think they have. Well, actually, they scored first on the previous game, and then Itzcoatl got one back. But they've got 2 goals in a row, and almost everything in the last, I don't know, 10 or so minutes, 10, 12 minutes. It's been 3 goals in their favor and only 1 for Itzcoatl. 4 goals, of course, if we count this one right here. As we cross into the 3rd minute of play here in our last game of this series, Itzcoatl, they started off very hot, but it doesn't seem like they have been able to find that Aztec fire that is so characteristic of them, and instead Vanguards are just taking advantage of every opportunity they can get. You see the confidence of Evie going for the redirect. I can tell you they were not going for that in game 1 or 2, but now they're feeling themselves.
Yeah, you got to get Friday fired up at the moment. You got to get the kitten fired up, don't you? Ellie Kitten's fired up at the start there. I think you have Ellie. I got a feeling if the team scores soon, it's going to be Ellie Kitten really involved in that and lifting the team back up and giving themselves that opportunity they had early in this. And they're well aware of the course. We don't need to remind them how to play. Almost the onesies there. That actually reminds me yesterday as well too, mate. I actually had onesies on the match. I like that. Ones battle. So we went down, and there it is. It was Fridays, it says, and I kind of predicted they were ready. They were really pushed out Ellie, because Ellie Kitten was the one that gave that. It's kind of scripted, isn't it? It's kind of like I'm scripting that to happen, but it's all random, I guarantee you.
Yeah, it's I guess the opposite of Castor's curse, Castor's blessing, if you will. I don't really know how to. A blessing in disguise, certainly for its Squattle, because that 50 from Elikin, it didn't have any business turning into an assist, even though the game credited it as one. But you know, it went up in the air, bounced off of the ceiling, and Friday says, just like the best strikers in the world, was there to pick it up. That's what differentiates a good striker from a great striker. They are always where they need to be and ready to just tap it into the net. It doesn't matter if it's a tap in, you gotta be there to tap it in.
All right, you couldn't be seeing something at the moment. I said something about the chat is in the South American coast as I live in Panama at the moment. And if you want to hear it, you could be hearing it. It's gone. There it is. You wanted it and you got it. 1 minute and 20 and change because Friday says, guess what? It ain't Friday, but it's certainly Wednesday here at RSC EU.
Oh,
Sorry,
boy.
I got a light on that one because I just remember listening to the discussions. Anyway, we do have a minute left to go. Can Vanguards live up to the Biggles prediction, or will this one go to a series tie? And guess what? Evie says, I'll tie this game. Let's see how we're going to pan out in that one.
Oh, Eevee doesn't want the draw. Eevee, beautiful demo from Sato. I know Eevee was one, but Sato has to get all the credit from that play. Without the demo, there is certainly no goal. The defender is positioned perfectly to save that one. So smart from the Vanguard's player. They want that W, and in the last 60 seconds, it's gonna be a war, a battle of attrition to see who can resist the longer and come out on top.
And it's a possibility for the Vanguards, of course, to maybe to skip themselves up in a P3 in the standings, actually, in the championship. So that'll be even more crucial for them if they can get this victory and put the 3 on the column. They're certainly fighting tooth and nail at the moment. 30-something seconds to go. Somebody wants to seal the deal. Otherwise, we will have OT, and that's going to be in. And there it is, Sato. It ain't over for 30 seconds to go, but they are now applying that pressure tooth and nail. It says, Biggles, you want your prediction? Well, it may be coming true.
It certainly looks like it. 3-2 the scoreline in game 4. 3-1 is looking to be the scoreline overall in the series. Not if it's Guile have something to say. And what does Friday have to say? Nothing, because First Beast is going to deny them. But Ellie Kitson goes back with another one. Sato, their most recent goal scorer, is now going to pass it forward to First Beast. Field and Evie to put it home surely with 18 seconds to go. He has won it for the Vanguard's team.
And that was both First Beast, of course. First Beast got just the tap to put it down. He was hoping it was going to go in, couldn't. And Evie said, don't worry, I got your back. 1,000,000 miles an hour. Evie was screaming at that ball, knowing that that's another. Now, basically, insurance go on their side, and they can't afford with a team now to slacken off. But now there might be early celebrations inside that car and inside that team, knowing that, hey, we do have, this series, and of course helping them in this championship, because remember, these teams are fourth and fifth in the standings. But now Vanguards may have something to do about that one, but I don't know. We'll see about the player of the match. You enjoyed that one? Wow, Vanguards came on strong towards the end, didn't they?
Yeah, they really turned it up. They showcased something that we hadn't seen before, I feel like, from them. Yes, they had shown good signs of offense here and there, but really, we hadn't seen them show that almost asphyxiating offensive pressure that I feel like characterized that game 4 for them. Even though it's got managed to get 2 goals, you didn't really feel like they were in control at any point in that last game, or really at any point in those last 3 games. I don't want to say the entire series, because they did win game number 1 somewhat convincingly, but I don't know, did they run out of gas? Maybe they did a refuel before coming to the game. What happened, Biggles?
I think they choked on South American coffee or something like that.
Ooh.
We wouldn't say that, but yeah, it's they were obviously you can't let yourself down as a team. Remember, you still have a chance into the season of doing more. But you got to remember, they're coming off 4 wins in a row. So now they have their first loss. Inevitably, it's a law of averages, and if you're doing such a great win streak, it's going to come to an end. It did come to an end for them. Yep. And now that win streak will switch over to the Vanguards, because now they have 4 in a row. And these are the only 2 teams, remember, that have wins in a row.
It had to happen. Like I said, the law of average. Call it the Rocket League gods, call it whatever. They're just gonna do their own thing. They're just gonna make sure everything is as it's supposed to be. And apparently, that is with Vanguards on top. Not of the full standings, but at least on top of its squattle when it comes to those rankings. Like we said, maybe we will see those higher seeds climb down, maybe Vanguard's climbing up. Who knows what is going to happen in the future? What I do know is that Eevee, of course, the series MVP, had one heck of a performance. And really, it was the magic that they brought to the field, I believe, that propelled Vanguards to the victory. Because, all three players were shining, yes, but sometimes it takes that X factor to break a deadlock, and that was exactly what the series was after game number 2. Really, no complaints for that MVP on my side.
Yes, and your side as well, too, if your predictions is wrong again, but Mr. Gator, I believe that we're going to be departing, and we'll have to leave you for your fantastic commentating that you've been doing for the first couple of these matches. One more to come, obviously, after this one. So any final words, mate?
Just thank you for that wonderful cast. Thank you for everyone watching. Good games, everyone. And we will be right back. Don't go away. One exciting series here at RSC EU.
Baby, why you call me? Do you feel alone? I know that you miss me, but you are so dumb. I hear come when you want. I'll spray for your little boy. I know, yeah. I know that you miss me. 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 I know.
Don't give me your heart, I'ma break it. Yeah, don't give me your money, I'ma take it. That's how I do it, yeah, that's how I do it, yeah. Be careful with me, that's how I do it. That's how I do it. Don't give me your heart, I'ma break it, 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 break it. That's how I do it. Don't give me your heart, I'ma break it. Yeah, don't give me your money, I'ma take it. That's how I do it, yeah, that's how I do it, yeah. Be careful with me, that's how I do it, yeah. Don't give me your heart, I'ma break it. break it. Yeah, don't give me your money, I'ma take it. That's how I do it, yeah, that's how I do it, yeah. Be careful with me, that's how I do it. That's how I do it. Don't give me your heart, 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 heart. Don't give me your heart, 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 heart. Don't give me your heart, I'ma break it. Yeah, don't give me your money, I'ma take it. That's how I do it, yeah, that's how I do it, yeah. Be careful with me, that's how I do it, yeah. That's how I do it.
You say you're tired, and I say, darling, it's alright. The sun will come out before we're old, we'll get it right. And we were falling like stars, and there was hope within your eyes. But we were younger then, we'd never be apart. We're just people, we're just people. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes we get it wrong. Touch the ground and your head is underwater, I would dive in for you before you drown. And you're asking me why. Well, life's a roller coaster, I cannot answer that, but I'll help you realize we're just people, we're just people. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes we get it wrong. Let's go. We were following a writing on the wall, writing on the wall. But it's true that we don't see it anymore, what we're fighting for. All I want is something to love from you, baby. Oh, there's no long. Why you keeping me waiting, waiting, waiting? Why you keeping me waiting, waiting, waiting? We were following a writing on the wall, writing on the wall. But it's true that we don't see it anymore, what we're fighting for. All I want is something to love from you, baby. Oh, been so long. Why you keeping me waiting, 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 waiting? Why you keeping me waiting, 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 why you keeping me waiting, waiting, waiting?
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one blow from caving in? Do you ever feel already very deep, 6 feet under screams, but no one seems to hear a thing? Do you know that there's still a chance for you, 'cause there's a spark in you? You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just out the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a fire. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just hold the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go as you shine across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go you're gonna leave 'em all in the boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. It's always been inside of you, you, you. And now it's time to let it through. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go as you shine across the sky. Even brighter than your colors burst. Make 'em go boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon. I'm the storm that meets the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to our final series of the evening on RSC EU. We've gone down to the Challenger Division. It is Fearless Delta versus Gelby. I am Tom Dillon, and alongside me is a picture of Biggles' avatar. And, well, Biggles, welcome along to the cast. First time I know for you. I mean, you've done a series before this, of course, but first time for you for a while on the RSC. A lot has changed since you were last here. And I have to say, you were the guy who got me into RSC. So welcome along.
Oh, thank you very much for that, Tom. It's glad. It's almost like every year now we get together, don't we, for a bit of a cast. We're talking about that in the green room. So keeping old traditions alive, and I'm glad you're really getting into it. But, well, mate, a lot has changed, as you mentioned, since the old school days that we were doing this, because look at those fantastic graphics packages that we have now. Fantastic producer that we have in the background. Of course, the Stingray. I haven't shout that man out, because you know what happened last time a Stingray messed with a famous Australian person. That was Steve Irwin. So we won't bring up that one. But once again, you bring up the fact that the Challenger Series is about to start. Welcome, everybody. Give us a shout out. Give us your predictions that you want in this one. As you said, Fearless Delta. Well, mate, they got to be fearless, aren't they? Because they're 10th in the leaderboard. And they got nothing really to lose and more to gain. And then it's Gelby, is the other team's name. I was just confirming that one, which means a German kettle. So let's see if they can blow off some steam and get a couple of wins. They're 6th in this standings at the moment with 20 wins to their name, as you can see on the graphics screen right now. But just a little bit of information. In the last 5 games, both of these teams have just 1 win and 1 draw. So they're pretty much even Stevens on that aspect if you look at the last 5 games.
Yeah, you're correct in that one. And obviously, Gelby's draw coming slightly earlier than later than Fearless's, I should say. You can see the statistics up on your screen between these two teams. Slender pickings at the moment, but Gelby actually holding on to a playoff spot by, again, pretty much the skin of their teeth. They're on there purely on goal difference, if I'm not mistaken. So that is not ideal from their perspective. I definitely want a big performance tonight. We should have some player statistics for you if Stingray can put them up on the screen, and we'll have a little bit of a chat about these rosters. So I understand that Fearless has almost a little bit of a last roll of the dice. They are only 5 points off of playoffs, but that is quite a big margin at this point in the season. There's a bit of a roll of the dice. They've got a new roster, Biggles.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, you're out of the old into the new to try something different because at this point, yeah, they have to start making a good push here to get themselves into the playoffs. And as I said, they've got really nothing to lose because, you know, they're seeded last currently at the moment in the championship standings. But if they get these wins in here and they really kick it up a notch, then they're very much possible to do that. Whereas, obviously, you know, Gelby, they have a lot to lose here because they could possibly lose their opportunity of getting into the playoffs. So they've got to push it, risk it. They're saying fearless, but of course can be more fearless on this part. And I think that's probably a good idea, isn't it? Switch your roster around, see how it pans out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is that last roll of the dice. We'll quickly talk about our predictions then, briefly touch on them. I have gone for 3-1 Gelby, 3-1 Fearless even, actually. Gelby obviously coming to this as favourites, but Fearless will know how important this series is. And I think with a new roster, relatively new roster, they'll just be wanting to you know, get through this and perhaps even pick up a victory, which would do their playoff hopes wonders, especially against the team occupying the playoff spot. So I'm going to go 3-1. That'll give them, take them to 2 points off of the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. And that can give them a little bit of momentum for maybe one last push.
I think you're right, actually. And I was going to sit on the fence on this one a little bit, but I'm going to back you on that one, Tom. I'm going to steal your predictions. My last prediction was 3-1, and I got that one correct in the previous round. It was 4-0 for yesterday's match, and it ended up being 3-1. So I'm getting pretty close. And again, you was going to be pretty much a one-off prediction anyway. But I'm gonna go with the 3-1. I believe you're right. This new roster, this is like, you know, going into a poker tournament and starting to see whether or not you can outbluff your opponent. We'll just see how that pans, how they're going to gel together. They've probably been practicing once again. I'm going with that, Tom. And everybody out there in the chat too, please let us know your predictions. I mentioned this before to Mr. Gator, that we as in the casting booth, the staff here at RSC EU, we have our own little mini tournament as to which caster gets the best predictions accurate at the end of the season. But what we need to be doing, my friend, is predicting some fantastic Rocket League action for the final time this evening.
And yeah, we can jump into it. Here we go then. 2 teams out onto the pitch. Fearless Delta will be in the blue, Gelby in the orange. I mean, not technically the right colours here on RSC, but it's okay. We can still get a bit of Rocket League played. Hecky will chase this one down straight away off of the right-hand side. Get beaten to it by Sinios. Toxical try and get round 2. This plays it into Vibs, who trying to go forwards here. New roster starting very aggressively. Here comes Vibs all the way forward. CJ taking it off of him. Toxic now going forward, takes a shot. Hecky can't quite get to it. It's loose off the backboard. CJ clearing it away. Frenetic start as here comes Vibs into Sinios again. And just not quite going forward. Sinex, I should say, not Sinios. I was reading it from afar. Biggles, 30 seconds already into the game. And I have to say, not really much time for scene setting because these two teams really going at each other's throats.
Yeah, very aggressive off the start, isn't it? You usually get there, everybody's like just feeling each other out, their placement and everything. But no, straight out of the gate, these teams are going for it too for now, I believe, because once again, they've both got a lot up for risk here. And there's a shot that just misfired. That ball is in dangerous territory. Can Vibes clear it? Yeah, Vibs clear it. Yes, it does. Now down the other end, Punny is not joking around with those puns. We'll get those puns for you a little bit later. Hecky's on the ball. Yep, once again, still a little bit of a ping-pong battle, mate, but we're getting down to 350 in change on this one. 2 defenders are back. Shots fired. good clear. CJ could not quite get the gap on it, but is Punny going to move up? CJ's on the out tail. Tonic has to break that one up midfield and does, and now they're the counter attack.
In comes Toxic. Try and get it off of the backboard. Looks to drop it down, but Hecky is there. Vib's now chasing it down. Punky will get there, send it downfield. Right hand side he goes. Hecky in the centre. Shot comes in, and Toxic gets back very quickly indeed. Gets the save away. Cinex here. Spills it out to Punky. Takes a shot. Off of the crossbar it goes. It's a save credit to Toxic, but still here. Gelby attack. Vibs will clear it away. Hecky now trying to put it into the mixer. Not quite able to find the net though. This time Punky falls loose to him. Takes a shot. Empty net. And Punky opens the scoring here for Gelby. What an important goal that could be in the grand scheme of things, setting the tone for the series. And realistically, a sweep here would help Gelby. And the way they've started, to be honest with you, I can see it going either way.
Yeah, can't afford to blow off some steam, can they, for the Kettles? Somebody's asking before what happened with the Vanguard score. Vanguard's won that one 3-2-1 on the previous match, so you know. Should have actually told you to go back and watch it later, but that's it. Yeah, spoiler alert. See, at the moment, if this new team can gel together for the Fearless and do something. Put strike the fear, I have to guess, into Gelby more than anything they need to do.
Well, at the moment, Gelby are fearless. As here goes CJ, can't quite find the net. Hecky will take a shot. It will flash wide. I have to get my own pun in there, Biggles. Here comes Vibs downfield. He'll spill it again, and Hecky chasing it down quickly. Toxic now up the other end to try and put it into the net. Cynics can't quite get there.
Yeah, you're going to miss opportunities like that. Although they're going to be well aware of it. That ball's going to roll. I wouldn't wait for it to roll too close into your goal area, guys. There's a little bit of argy-barginess going on. Eventually gets a clear, but it's not the clear you want because it goes straight back to Hecky for another opportunity. Cine needs to clear that one. Goes to CJ off the cross top. They got to clear it out of the area and not straight back into the opponents, which is exactly what we're doing right now. Giving it to Gelby. They can't get out of that corner, can they? You know what? It feels like you're trapped. It feels like you got the paint can out, mate, and you forgot that you painted yourself into a corner.
Here comes Punky to put it back into that corner. No teammates in support, though. We'll just sort of dribble this into no man's land across the goal, but there's a team bump that allows CJ to have a chance. Toxic will eventually get away with it. Here he chases down. Not a lot of boost to work with. Up to the other corner we go then. Hecky off of the right-hand side. Cynics gets the better of him, but CJ will sweep this one up for the Ox side, and now Vibs going forward. Punky again in a strong clear, only as far as centre field. Punky gets down to it. Cynics clearing away once more though. Fearless not quite out of this game yet. Cynics puts it back downfield. Off of the corner it goes. Good demo as well on CJ. Toxic is there to drop it in, and he gets it. And Fearless get back into the game.
911, we have an emergency. Toxic's in town. The Drift Queen, look at that. With style. And all that, didn't it there, Tom? That built up into that passing play before. You saw that excellent passing play they did to bring that down to the other end there, over the defenders. I think this could be a nice magical team here for Fearless Delta if they start gelling. Now they start firing on all cylinders together as a team. They're going to be a danger.
That actually just occurred to me. So at the start of the game, I said, well, we've got the team colours wrong. We've got a new graphics package. I didn't see that. That has changed quickly. The teams are in their right colours. Wow.
Hey, this is the second day that we've had this fantastic new package. A massive investment, of course, and it's a big thank you back to the community that supported RSC. And yeah, the bosses at B are very happy with it, and we're super pleased with it. I'm glad everybody's enjoying it. Cynics is going to just roll this one down. I like that slow play sometimes, isn't it? You know, just be careful with the ball. Bring the game tempo to your team, and then strike when you're ready.
Here comes Cinex going forward, looking to pierce one through CJ. CJ able to get to it. Punky has to clear his lines. 10 seconds to go. Buzzer beater territory. Here goes Punky. Last chance of the game. Cleared away by Vibs. Punky puts it into the centre. Hecky gets there, drops down off of the backboard. Cinex is challenging. CJ gets there too, and it drops to the ground to take us to overtime, Biggles.
Yeah, there we go. You got to remember, you're looking at currently the 6th in the standings versus a 10, so I don't think there's no difference between them. It's currently at the moment, as you've seen, both teams came out of that gate aggressive, and they're both continuing to fight. This one aggressive, of course. The next one that's going to score will get that first game won, and it ain't going to be easy. You're going to have to earn this one. This is why they get paid the big bucks, isn't it, to be in this Rocket League.
Absolutely. Here goes Toxic over the backboard, looking central. Punky will clear it away. Cynics is the only man back, and in fact he's got a very lowly time inside of his own half. Here he goes, Playmaker off of the right-hand side into the centre. CJ gets there. Bibbs keeps it alive. This might just bump off of the backboard. Punky drops it down. Bibbs takes a shot. Toxic there. Surely he can get there. No, he can't. Cynics was covering his lines, so he wasn't going to turn it in as the third man. Here goes CJ then. Counter-attack for Gelby into Punky. He's challenged down very quickly. And the ball goes out to the other side. It's a cagey game, and I suppose as much. This game means so much for these two teams with just a couple weeks left.
It does. That's why we kind of predicted Fearless was going to be a lot stronger here with a new roster and a lot more to gain at the end of the day for them. Because they're gonna push like mad. They need it to get a lot more on the scoreboard here to possibly see themselves into the playoffs. So that's what I've said. They're gonna give it everything, aren't they? Tooth for nail. And that's what they're doing, committing, because when you overcommit your offense, you're going to be allowing yourself to be under massive pressure down the other end. But at this point, I don't think they care, Tom. They're just like, okay, we're just going to score. Worry about defending later. They still are defending at this point. I'm just talking the talk.
This is a shot to CJ. He'll tap it in. He's nicked the goal of his teammate. And I don't think he'll be very happy about that, Punky, but they get the victory. Here goes Hecky.
Pockets, mate. Yep, here he goes.
It's a good
well,
bump.
Then again, that was CJ. That was on CJ because he pushed the defender out. So if CJ didn't do that, that wouldn't have been a goal.
Well, they'll be happy about that one. And, well, Gelby getting the win onto the board, and well, a hard-fought victory, perhaps one that they wanted to be a little bit easy after scoring the first goal. We had a very, very long overtime, didn't we? Almost half of the other game. And look at those new graphics. I mean, they're amazing. Team colours actually represented. You know, it's funny, and I know we're not talking about the game here. I'm just sort of gawping over the new graphics. But I was about to suggest last week, saying to someone like Source, "Oh, well, I wish the team colours they could actually play in their colours in the game." And then they've only gone and done it without me even actually bringing it up. I'm very happy. More than I should be.
They read the memo, mate. The memo.
Read my mind.
You missed it. You read your mind. But yeah, what a match. You'd have to say you got to give it. So we did kind of. A lot of people say that Gelfie should be a little bit more of a favourite in this one, but Fearless Delta's come out of the gate there pretty much even Stevens, I'd have to say, across their statistics. And now it's going to be important that game at 2. I don't see a lot of chatter out there who wants to predict who, where, and why. They sleeping behind the wheel in the virtual world, thankfully, not in the real world. But game 2, and we're going to be going to the Japanese restaurant I'll be going to after this match that I mentioned earlier. But at the moment, the Forbidden Temple will be here in the virtual world. Tom, predictions for this round win?
Well, I think Fearless are going to have to come out of the blocks, and I think purely on necessity, Fearless will get this one. That being said, this is spilled well across the goal. Toxic will eventually clear it away. CJ takes a shot, and CJ's going to loop one in. And it's almost a gimme for Gelby, as Fearless have not come out the blocks as I anticipated them doing so. CJ just taps one home, and Vibs totally miscontrolled his car.
I don't think Vibs was expecting that one because they were going to 50 for the ball at that point, and it just went the wrong way for the team, of course, and the right way for the other team, and this is an opportunity. So yes, it is. Quick goals like that can make all the difference early in the game. But then again, if you are obviously Fearless Delta, you're like, well, we do have a little bit more time on our side, so we'll see how it pans out. But they got to get the ball first, don't you? And then work on your strategy of getting a goal after that. That's a good clear down the other end. Open net area. Who's going to seize the opportunity? You can't miss this one, Toxic. And once again, emergency numbers being called because Toxic's in town.
Wow. Emergency for sure. That is absolutely fantastic. I've just realised again I'm using the wrong microphone, so give me a moment. It's a little bit awkward. Here we go. There you go. Should be sounding a little bit more crisp now.
Now we have you in 7.1 surround sound, Tom. I like it. Here we go.
But Sidex, if that wasn't too clunky of a transition, I've done that a couple of times now on a cast. Used different microphones to talk to my friends versus casting. Here's Hecky. Looks for Punky. Punky finds it. Downfield they go. Sidex is there. Try and take it down this left-hand side. CJ gets to it. CJ pops one forward. 1-1 in this game at the moment. Toxic takes it away. The goal scorer for Fearless Delta. Now Vibs challenging down. Hecky gets there instead. Hecky still going here off of the corner. Central it goes, and Sinex clearing it away onto Vibs. Actually, CJ's a bit unsighted by it. Can Sinex go on the follow-up? No. Vibs might do though.
Pressure!
Near post. That is
Vibsy.
fantastic.
Vibsy 68, look at that. Because it's that double pressure, remember. It's a team game. You win, lose as a team. Look at that turnaround from Vibsy. He basically slammed that thing into first gear, oversped the rear tires, and turned it all around. Yeah, the only thing about the microphone, mate, just don't accidentally get picked up by your refrigerator microphone thinking, hang on, what do I sound like I'm in a next room with a massive echo? The internet refrigerator microphone. Never had that happen, but anyway. Somebody's always listening. Well, who's going to be listening to the team? Because at the moment, there's a shout out there from Come On Delta, and they are listening to you. So the Egg fan support out there is paying off. But yet, there's still 3 minutes and change, and we know exactly that the German Kettle team is very much capable of scoring.
Steelers, we hope not to ruin it from this perspective. They're on the defensive at the moment. CJ with a fairly decent demo on Sinex. Punky here looks to take a shot. Downfield we go. CJ getting there, only as far as Toxic though he receives on this right-hand side. Can he get to the ball actually? Looks to flick it over Hecky, can't do so. Vibs keeps it in a positive direction before Hecky eventually takes it off of him. Runs out of boost though, and Sinex can once again bring this one back forward. Hecky though falls to him. Vibs takes it off of him once more. Still creating good pressure here is Vibs into the centre for Toxic. Can't miss, but he can't get the ball. Wouldn't have missed if he got the ball. Just slightly over his head. Here goes Hecky.
Yeah, but Toxic is, dangerous when Toxic is in the right place at the right time. Of course, those boosts are going to make all the difference. Still, this is getting all the 2s on the clock at the moment, to advantage, of course, to Fearless. I'd have to say they're playing both well. Both teams are playing quite good. Just need a bit more, I think, touches on the ball there from Fearless, and they need to capitalise a goal here. Give themselves an insurance goal, but they're going to need another one now because the score has been evened by the Punkster.
Fantastic little demo play on the line. As well, so I think they'll take that all day. Gelby are really hanging on to this series by a thread. Fearless dominating this game at the moment with 55% of the possession stats, which, as I keep clarifying, if you look at that from a footballing brain, that doesn't sound particularly bad, but for a Rocket League perspective, that is pretty big domination on the possession front. I mean, it's changed slightly now. Anyway, the point is that they are well, dominating this on the possession front at least. Maybe not creating as many shots as the opposition. Here goes Punky off the backboard. He goes. Toxic will clear it away. Shot registered for Punky. Their 7th of the game. Now Toxic downfield. It's a very nice little read on this one. I think he'll bring it away though. Punky trying to consolidate. Here he goes then, chasing it all the way down on this right-hand side. Off the backboard it goes into Hecky. Hecky can't quite find it now. Defense turns into attack as Vibs on the counter-attack. Only CJ back. Punky gets there off the backboard. It goes. Vibs at an impossible angle. Can't find the double touch. And just about falls on deaf ears for Fearless.
And they're pushed back into their corner. And there's a great shot at goal. Nobody's home. Bang! Punky says he'll capitalise on that one. Burgled that one from the defense, as you said. Capitalising on the turnover and getting it done. Well, you're talking about possession, my friend. How would that pan out for the Test cricket for the Ashes, Phil? I'm not sure you've ever looked at the statistics for that, but at the moment, it doesn't matter about statistics. We do know Delta need to score if they want to be able to get at least one in the win column this series.
I told him not to bring it up, but that might just be a bit of pass ball from Hecky. Can't find the net though. And in the end, Vibs is going to try and take it away. He does take it away over the top of one. Fearless still in this game by a slender margin. CJ off the backboard. Sinex will clear it away, though he's run out of boost. He eventually gets a challenge in on Punky. It was a bit of a game of chicken for a moment. 50 seconds left in this contest, and we're just waiting to see if Fearless can get themselves back into it. It would feel harsh if they weren't to go on and win.
Oh, that's a nice little flick. Anybody got to follow it through? I think a team almost had to get to a point of all full commit here. A little late touch, but you got to get possession here. Now, Fearless, you got to be fearless. You got to go for the ball. Just charge it at a million miles an hour. I wouldn't even worry about defending here. If you concede a goal, you concede a goal, but you got to get a goal. More importantly, otherwise it's still going to be a game loss. So get out of your goal area. Charge. All 3 players. Commit. But the problem is they're getting shut down every single time they are. They can't clear it, can they? Trying their best, they cannot. They get shut down at the moment there by Gelfie.
An important series win is slipping away from Fearless, who now have to find a buzzer beater, but the ball might not have the legs. CJ is going to try and spike it. He does spike it. And Gelfie get their 2nd win. They're on the right track to go and get a sweep. But as I said, I think Fearless here are playing well. It's just miraculous that they haven't been able to quite turn it into that victory.
Yeah, once again, you're switching a new roster, aren't you, during a season, of course, because the roster didn't seem to be working. Although, remember, they have 15 wins to their name, so it's not like, you're just getting completely swept off your feet, off your tires. But those statistics at the moment, you can see field domination and boost consumption, all that. They're still good. I would say still continue win your time. Just continue to do what you do. Fearless are capable of scoring. They could win a match. And if you're Gelfie, well, once again, you've been winning. And they really have to be, for their point of view, being sixth in the standing. They want to look at getting themselves up to fifth or fourth. Well, a sweep would be fantastic for them, wouldn't it?
It would be fantastic for them. It would do them so many favours in terms of this playoff hunt. Play-in hunt, really, I should use the proper term for it. But, well, play-in, playoff, I think they're all knockouts.
You have the best education in the world. You should be nice. It's fine.
All knockout Rocket League, which I think is the important thing here. And the good news they have is that they're on the same games as Shrine as we go over to Sovereign Heights, the modern classic of a map. And we see this game 3. Gelfie, a sweep would just take them a little bit further on their way to the road, over the road to the playoffs. Here goes Punky taking a shot straight away. He's not quite able to find it though.
Well, we do know, if you don't know what it is, Gelfie is the name translation for a German kettle. So I'll tell you what, my friend, you will know that they're fired up and they are steaming for more wins in this one. But then again, Toxis is always dangerous early in the game, isn't it? Toxis come out there and scored those goals for the Fearless Delta. And Toxis now on another rampage to try to get another one to make it 3 in 3 games. But at the moment, the pressure's coming back. And there's a one-on-one here. Who's going to beat the goalie? Goalie got a tap on it. Heck, he couldn't quite. Heck of a shot, heck. But no result delivered just yet.
According to Google Translate, Gelfie is the translation for yellow ox in German, which I suppose makes a little bit more sense than kettle, but maybe they have the same word. Maybe it's a little bit of a homophone in Germany. Either way, they're definitely playing with a bit of fire in their belly here as Spunky can't quite find its way in. And yeah, I hate to sort of take away your kettle analogy there. But,
I was told by a fantastic producer about that one, so we'll have to consult
right. Well,
yeah.
Is Stingray German? I think I don't know.
Yeah.
Is he German?
Well, Stingray, if you can
which case, I'll
let us
take
know
his
in
word
the
for
chat about that. Anybody aware of Stingray? And the game's still scoreless, but Toxic's done it again. This is not the first game. You're not watching a replay or the second. It's the third. Toxic now scores for the 3rd time in a row for the team early.
He has done exactly that, and now Fearless, just after trying to consolidate on this one, heck, he'll take one, but he's not quite able to consolidate, and the kickoff Toxic clears it away. He really has been the standout player for this Fearless side, who I have to say, in terms of naming, Alpha Delta, in all of that, seems to be the most concise way to do it. This is goal line scramble, cleared away. Here goes Vibs then, off of the backboard. CJ clears it away out to his left-hand side. Now Punky downfield. Sinex will take this one forward. CJ.
Very good break there for Sinex, who can get a little bit of tap on the side there to Toxic. And now keep the ball up this end. Don't let Becky break it away with a good passing play, of course. Sinex now cleared it away. CJ's the only one back, but CJ's got a tap on it. We'll pass it back to Vibs. Toxic's charging down the middle here. The ball's going to have a bounce. Toxic's gone charging for it into the corner. Now, who's going to line up to? Who's going to be charging down? Broken up the top of the net. They've missed it here in midfield. Full commit. Shot at goal. Vibs has picked it one up there. Toxic couldn't quite get the tap on it. It's been broken up the play. Luckily, it goes across their goal area, but they're pushed back into defense again there. Tom.
Absolutely, and here goes CJ. Cleared away once more. Fearless holding on to this one. Punky gets demoed, and it's a demo play that will yield a goal from Toxic, who strikes again for Fearless Delta, who are on their way to saving a series in fine fashion, and to at least get a point out of this one, even if it's not quite going to go their way in terms of closing that gap to the playoffs. At least a point here would just be that little bit of encouragement for them to maybe go and kick on. Rotating rosters, not an ideal situation for Fearless Delta. But they are trying to carry this franchise name with a little bit of pride. Here goes Heki, though, to sort of ruin the day and halve the advantage. Not quite able to do so. Toxic goes downfield now, looks to get it past CJ. Won't quite do so. CJ just spill it slightly. Heki will eventually take it downfield, and as far as Vibs, who clears this strongly out to the left-hand side for Toxic to try and take it forward. Punky has to get there, and does. 1 minute and 45 in the game. Sinex will go off the backboard. Punky looks to clear away once more, and does.
Yeah, I have to say, before that one was that demo came down. Was it Vibs? I think that Vibs demo was brilliant to get themselves that second goal. It was one of those players, I believe, that, you know, demos at the right place at the right time. Make all the passing play. Is it in? Is it out? Is it in? Again, almost have the same situation that happened yesterday. VAR technology. Yeah, well, sometimes you're gonna have to look at that one, but another opportunity to perhaps seal the deal there from Fearless Delta to perhaps take their first one in the win column on this series. And then I'll tell you what, they are fearless for sure, because they want to win this one, and the time is on their side. Now let's shot a goal here, putting pressure, continuing to put pressure on Gylfi.
Here goes Heki, chance to halve the advantage once more, and well, they just get back in time, don't they? Here goes CJ then, once more, into the centre he goes, and Vibs will clear it away. Punky trying to keep the attack alive. He does do so off the right-hand side. Eventually Vibs takes it away. CJ is home to sweep this one up. Sweeps it up indeed. Instead of Toxic, he goes forward. And CJ eventually clearing it away. Sinex, though, almost fell for him. He has to get back to just take this momentum away from CJ. Heki now into the centre. Punky is there. Vibs will clear away, though. Now Toxic downfield.
What a pass. What a pass straight to Toxic. They read each other. They are a new roster. They're starting to gel. They're starting to fire on all cylinders. But yeah, they're denying. They are going to deny the possible sweep here from Gylfi, because the Fearless Delta are back. And I tell you what, if they're going to continue to play like this for the rest of the season, it might very well upset some of the teams. Fearless Delta will take their first win, and they did it without denying the other team to score.
Well, at the end of the day, it's going to require something pretty special for them to get into the playoffs, particularly when considering what has happened in this series. But it's all in the positive direction. You can see the player stats on your screen right now. It was a much closer game. Actually, I say that. It was probably Fearless's favour there. 52% possession against 7 shots apiece, but more importantly, 6 saves from Fearless, the one going off of the crossbar. If you remember seeing that one, I see you've got a bit of activity in the chat. Hello to everyone, just sort of saying hello to each other, asking if people have had series and things like that. But anyway, I'm nice to see all people enjoying the new overlays, because I know I certainly am. I don't think I've mentioned that tonight.
Yeah, you have just mentioned a couple of times now. Tom, when you were well aware of it, let's say, yeah, hello. Is it Tom you're looking for? Or is it some fantastic RSC new graphics you're looking for? Either way, you have discovered them here. And what you'll be discovering will be our final game of the night. It has to come to a close, doesn't it? It has to come to an end. But that's only today's match that will go to a close. We have much more action-packed coming up. We'll talk about that a little bit later, because we're going to get this game, our 4th game, underway, Tom.
We are, and just trying to confirm that schedule for tomorrow. Not tomorrow, well, next stream, which is on Friday night, actually. So free night tomorrow from the RSC. There'll still be games going on, of course, but not streams. Underway for game 4 then at Beckwith Park. CJ will go out to the right-hand side, but Sinex takes it off him. Here's a shot for Fearless straight away. Toxic can't quite get there. He was flying in at a rate of knots. Heki instead will go and try and create a bit of corner pressure here into the centre. We're not able to find a teammate. He's tapped that over CJ's head. Goes Heki out to the right-hand side. Toxic gets there, sweeps this off of his own baseline. Now into Vibs, who clears his one away once more. Heki goes right-hand side, not able to find the ball though. It will be cleared away by Sinex. Now Vibs, he's trying to create a bit of pressure. Fearless know that they have to start this game quick, Biggles.
They do. You're going to keep the pressure on. As somebody say, you're generous out there for the casters predict for a 10th place team. That's because we just, we said earlier at the top of the show, we expect nothing to lose at the moment. That's some great position that you have when you're at the bottom of the standings. And Toxic once again, for the 4th time in a row, scores the first goal in every single game played tonight.
just didn't kick on in the first two, did they? And that is frustrating. The difference between a win here and a loss has been that overtime in game one. And to be honest with you, rather a subpar game two, I think, from their perspective. Here goes Vibs there. Left-hand side. Looks forward. Hecky will challenge him. Hecky gets a good 50 in, actually. It'll be Toxic, who's tasked with sweeping away. Vibs can't quite get the redirects on this one. CJ is there, being challenged by one of the fearless attackers, though, who puts one into the centre. Toxic always turning back to this one, though. And whilst he can keep that inside of opposition half, finds Synex. Synex not quite able to do much with it. Just saying with Toxic, he was able to keep it in the opposition half, but I think that was just what killed the attack almost. Here goes CJ, can he take a shot? Synex with a very strong save.
Yeah, I'm expecting at the moment, I would have to say, you'd have to go get Gelfie, going to get a kick in another gear and do what they'd been doing, as in the chat as well. I mean, talking about all that, temp seed and all that sort of stuff, we won't always like a series like that. To me, I have no favour of any team during it, but you want to see the teams lower the opportunity to try to make their way into the playoffs. You know, for a fact that Gilfie's pretty much got the job done on that one. They should be able to get through the playoffs, depending on what seed they will get that. Because they're already a fantastic team. I love to go support the underdogs every once in a while, don't you? At this point, and I did to predict that one, didn't I? I did say the Gilfie lining themselves up and cooking basically on the stove for another goal. There it is.
And this time it goes 1-1 in the game, and obviously looking for 2-2 in the series of Fearless, who go here forward with Toxic. Toxic needs to get it over Hecky, free jumps well. Synex now going forward, off of the crossbar it goes into Vibs, who unable to turn it in. CJ does very well coming out from his own net. Punky trying to find some space to work with, quickly closed down by Synex. Hecky takes a shot, Hecky should find the net, he won't. It's a double touch, and it's a fantastic double touch from Hecky, who puts Gelby into the lead of the game, and for now, into the lead, into the win for the series.
This could also be one of the worst of bad puns for the Biggles for the night, and that was one heck of a shot.
It was indeed, and now my question to you, Biggles, is do you see Fearless on the form they've had tonight coming back from this?
They got to give it everything. I mean, I think they'd be happy that they got themselves a nice win here. At least one of them in the win column. And they could do it here and make it a draw. Would be very, very interesting. Because remember, both these teams too have only had one win and one draw together apiece in the last 5 rounds. So they're even Stevens when it comes to that. And this is going to be the breaker between their last 5. Other games going on. Cynics at the moment. They're not going to give up. They've got a minute and change. Let's see how they do it. They've got a couple of defenders back. He's going to get Toxic fired up, don't you? It's an emergency. Call the fireman, call the police, call Toxic. Need is that it could be an emergency.
Oh, it's Synex. It's Ben who might come to save the team, but no, not quite. Fire engine a little bit late on that one. Toxic gets demoed. That's one way to deal with him, as here goes Synex down the left-hand side. Knows that might just be the miss that takes Toxic's chance of a well-earned draw away here. Into the centre it goes. Hecky gets there. Here's Vibs. Can't miss. Surely won't miss. And Toxic get themselves back into the game and have a series lifeline.
So going back to my predictions of 2-2. Didn't I predict a draw?
Well, you withdrew the prediction.
I didn't hear that. Sorry, it might have been a bit of a breakup or whatever on the microphone or whatever. But there it is. It's 2 on the clock. It's even Stevens. A minute and change to go for our final round here this evening for RSC EU. Set a little bit breather of a break tomorrow and then get back into the action on Friday for a whole weekend's entertainment for our 7th week of the season as we're getting closer and closer, of course, into the playoffs. So every one of these matches are very, very crucial. He's Toxic on the ceiling at the moment. Not dancing on the ceiling, but flying on the ceiling. CJ and Toxic going for it too for now, rubbing shoulders and elbows and wheels and bumpers, trying to do something desperate for both of their teams with still 40 seconds to go, Tom.
Here goes Toxic. This time it's only back and Synex has to get there. He does. CJ with the shot credit. Then Vibs gets demoed. Synex though with 30 seconds to go, trying to save this one. Going to overtime. Pretty long series actually, all things considered. Up to about the 40-minute mark through 4 games is pretty incredible. With a couple of lengthy overtimes as well. Here goes Hecky then. 18 seconds to go in the game. This is pretty much it now. Last chance for both the teams before they go to that overtime situation. Punky puts it into the centre. Toxic can't get there. CJ just a little bit too far behind it though. Here goes CJ to maybe get one at the death, and he does. And Gelby, with one of the more important wins of the season, might have just picked up this series. Vibs unsighted. Fearless Delta not able to save this one.
Series 10, what champion? Yeah, right place, right time. You're talking about the time, of course. Yeah, I want to get my butt off to a restaurant soon. So that might have been the savior for me, and definitely the savior for the Gelfie, because that ball touches the ground, it pops like a balloon, and the scoreboard is wrapped up. It won't pop like a balloon, but those demos coming out. A little bit of late love, I guess, from both the team members as they congratulate themselves, and then they'll congratulate Gelfie getting the win on this one, and give them a 3-1 overall series.
And well, I have just I've just seen that we've got a few post-game stats and facts on the screen. Combined series stats coming up. MVP of the series, and I mean, well, this is fantastic. I mean, I've never seen anything like this in my life. It's fantastic stuff. Here you go, post-series stats. And on your screen right now, isn't that fantastic? Averages this across the 4 games, so it's all the stuff that they've done divided by 4 to average. I mean, you guys know how averages work, but boost consumption, everything. That's absolutely wonderful to look at. And you can see that it was a series that Fearless Delta probably didn't dominate on the stat side, but were far more in it than you would perhaps suggest. And I think Biggle's the key here, as I know you're keen to get off as quickly as possible. I think it's just a case of they weren't really able to find that killer touch.
Yeah, the interesting stats of that, of course, is that all positions say field domination is pretty much that. Saves, it was a big one, isn't it? And you know for a fact there that Fearless Delta had a lot more saves because obviously the pressure was applied a little bit more there. But stats are stats, aren't they? At the end of the day, they can be flipped up and down. But if Fearless Delta, of course, that's 10th in this standings, have come out with this new roster, and I have to say they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And we all know that Gelfie are definitely fighting their way to get their chances of perhaps getting straight into the playoffs for the easy path, or then having to battle themselves more of a difficult path. But either way, it's been a fun entertainment all the way here for RSC EU. And once again, an almost a year anniversary, they get to cast a view again, Tom.
Well, I can't wait to do it in a year's time again, Biggles. Hecky, your series MVP, by the way, man of the match. However you choose to call it, a bit American for my liking, for an RSC EU MVP. But anyway, Hecky is your most valuable player of the series, which he's very happy about in the chat. So we'll let Biggles get off to his wonderful Japanese restaurant, have some wonderful hot plated steak, and thank you for joining me. Biggles, thank you everyone in the chat for joining us as well. You can come back on Friday for our next stream on RSC EU as we count down the weeks, count down the games until those playoffs get underway. Good night.
Cause I don't understand how you make the world stop each time that you talk. It's so much better than I do. Better than I do. It's so much better than I do. It's so much better than I do. Better than I do. It's so much better than I do. Better than I do. It's so much better than I do.
Papa San, bitch, she got ice. I'm the man, mama never nice. She from Japan, looking so tight. I never land straight all night. parachute. Cause I'm mad for you. I just told him to, but you never do. Freeze it too. Cause I flex for you.